Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back again, once again, in this UBL for the brand new season. We are here as your coach of the Crystal Palossands, and we have got a brand new squad to break down for you today in today's draft analysis. I'm very excited to showcase this team. We have got what I think is one of the best teams we have ever drafted in all of the UBL history. We have actually drafted some cracking teams over the seasons. This one, you know, is the icing on the cake. It's that top layer. It's where you put in all the, you know, the confetti and everything in between. You don't put confetti on a cake. It's the top stuff. But we are here. We are back, and I'm very excited. So, before I start fidgeting around anymore, let's get down. If you guys are excited, please be sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. You don't want to miss any battles that are coming your way. Battles, in fact, are coming. They're going to be every Sunday from the 26th. I want to say 7th is the date I meant to say. 27th every week for the next 8 weeks. It's an 8-week season, and then it jumps into playoffs, and then the championship, and then all the craziness that really kind of kicks off there. But only 8 weeks. This is more so we can kind of sort of wrap up part of the sort of main season just in time for when the Crown Tundra hopefully sort of hits. So it's more or less around that same sort of ballpark. So, you know, if you're worried on, you know, what you're going to do for the next, you know, 8 weeks or so, you know, while we're waiting for the Crown Tundra to come out, well, battles every week here in the UBL. So get yourselves comfy, get yourselves ready. Be sure to check out all the other coaches. Their links and stuff will be in the description below. We have got 15 other amazing coaches in this season, and I'm very excited to you know, to be battling against them. That we've got some returning, you know, some returning fan favorites and some brand new coaches as well. So really excited for this season. And we've got a really cool team, as I said, we're going to break down for you. I just want to give a couple shout outs, huge shout outs to our front office for helping us out, actually, you know, put this squad together. Really wouldn't have been able to do it without them, so huge shout outs to them. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And one last thing, merch is available, guys. You can snag yourself some Crystal Palossands merch. It is available right now. Link is in the description, right towards, should be the first link in the description. You can check that out. And right now, for the next, I believe, 3 weeks, I might have been, 3 weeks. For the first 3 weeks of battles, you can get yourself 10% off the entire store using code UBL5. UBL5, you know, season 5, here we are. So use code UBL5 and you can save yourself 10% off the everything that's available within my merch store. So check it out, you know. There's some stickers. Speaking of stickers, these are the stickers. They are beautiful, they're glossy, they're worth checking out. They're nice and big, they're big as well, nice big quality. Love it. Worth checking out. Links in the description. But otherwise, guys, you want to see what we bring in. I really want to explain and tell you what we're bringing. So let's break it down. All right, so we are here. And the first round, we, out of 16 coaches, we were 9th in the randomized sort of draft order. Which isn't the worst, but it's really not ideal, especially early on in the draft, because you kind of can't really snag the really good picks. And you kind of miss out on the wheel picks, so you don't really get too many back-to-back. So being in the middle of the draft is, in my opinion, the worst, especially early in the draft, because there's miss out on a few good. But we managed to make it work, so here we go. First round, though, we actually managed to snag a really good dragon right off the bat. Like, first round, all the big picks were going. Urshifu went, Dragapult, you know, Rillaboom went, Zeraora went, which I had my eyes on. Even Melmetal went, literally, I think the round or so just before me. The pick. But we managed to snag Hydreigon. Hydreigon is our first round pick, and I'm actually really excited for this. It was the last in the sort of tier 200s that was actually left. And I was actually quite pleased. Like, it's a really good powerful dragon type, really good dark type as well. Great move pool on the special side. It's decent on physicals, got a couple good physical moves, like with the U-turn access and stuff. Decent speed tier on the 98, 125 special attack, 105 on the physical attack. Bulk is pretty decent. Obviously, it does have quite a few weaknesses with Bug, Dragon, Fairy, Ice. Need I go on? Fighting. So we have got to be careful there, but obviously you find that we patch those up later in the draft. But a really good solid pick first off the bat. And I thought, actually, do you know what? Having a really good, powerful Dragon type like early on in the draft, I think is so important in the draft, like in a draft league, because Dragon's one of the best offensive types. Like, it's really important to have a good dragon type. And Hydreigon was there, and I was like, I can't pass this up. We have to grab it. Like, we literally just, out of our 1100 points, we went for it. We just went all out, grabbed that big 200 point Hydreigon, and hopefully it puts in the work. I feel like it will. I think it's gonna do us wonders. So I'm excited. Moving in to round two. So we got a long wait. The draft had to go all the way down and come all the way back up, and we're jumping into round two. And this is where we were sort of thinking, like, what do we get? Like, what do we get for round two? There were so many picks that were going. A lot of steel types were starting to fly. A lot of fairy types were disappearing. The Rotoms had started disappearing. I had my eyes on Rotom Heat. That had gone. Skarmory, that had gone. So there were a few kind of good ones that I had my eyes on. That unfortunately we did miss out on. But we managed to snag a really decent one. I'm actually quite pleased with it. We actually went with that steel type. We went for Cobalion. Cobalion is here, and I'm really excited for Cobalion. Like, it's one of the three, or I guess 4 Swords of Justice. It gets the Justified ability, so we kind of, in a way, resist those dark type moves, and obviously if we get hit with a said dark type move, we get a nice +1, which is really good. It adds on my speed as well, which I'm currently doing quite decent at, but this gives me a 1/100, 108, and then a really good physical defense stat at 129. Really good physical defense stat. It doesn't really help our fighting weakness, but it does help our bug weakness, so we have that going for us. We're neutral to fairy, but I just thought I figured it's important to get a good steel type, and there really wasn't a lot left. Like, I think other than this, there's like Scizor. I think Scizor was still left. I think Jirachi was still left, but we just had to be careful because we only have 1100 points for the entire draft. We had to be careful, like how we spent it. Like, we couldn't go all out on grab like 2 or 3 massive big spenders, because then we won't really have enough for the rest of the draft to kind of like get really decent team. Like, it's not going to work. So we had to be careful with points. But I thought Cobalion was really worth it. It was only 120, so I thought it was a really good value for what he was in, and he's got really decent move pool as well. Got great physical, some decent special moves. Best really one being was Volt Switch, but I just thought Cobalion was too good to pass up, and I was like, yo, let's grab it. Let's grab it while we can. I've never used it before in the draft league. In fact, I've never used any of these in the UBL before, so all of these are brand new, and I'm really excited for them. So yeah, I'm really pumped. I'm really excited. It's amazing. I'm excited for Cobalion. Let's see what it can do. Moving in to round 3, and we went all out on some bulk. We went for Toxapex, ladies and gentlemen. We went all out. We did go up in tier. We spent 140 on Toxapex here, but the best thing with Toxapex is, despite the fact it's got a base 152 defense, a base 142, I think special defense, it's the regenerator ability as well. This thing is incredibly bulky. It can literally sit in front of things that, I mean, mine is a ground type, but I guess in a way electric type as well, but it can literally just sit in front of stuff and just stay there. Like, you can recover spam, it can, it gets knockoff, it gets the toxic spikes, baneful bunker. Like, it's got so much going for it. I've battled against Toxapex multiple times in the past, and it's so annoying to take down. Like, if you don't get it withered down quick enough, or if you don't get an opportunity where you can kind of like get a good switch into Toxapex, it's just gonna sit there and it's just gonna stall you out. Like, I had to have it. I'm really excited for Toxapex. I've never used it in draft before, and I'm really excited to snag it this time around. So I'm expecting big things from Toxapex. It's gonna be good fun. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Moving into round 4, I was kind of torn on what to get. But the front office we were quite adamant on trying to grab a fairy type. So we grabbed one of the few decent fairy types that were actually left. And we actually went with Mimikyu. There really wasn't too many decent fairy types left at this point in the draft. I think other than this, we had, I think Gardevoir was still available at this point. I'm pretty sure Hatterene was still available. So I think Galarian and Weezing as well. But I've used Weezing before, but there were a few options. But the good thing is with Mimikyu, is minus fact it's a fairy type. It's got really decent speed stat, base 96, decent on the special defense, base 90 on the attack, so not too bad offensively, and got somewhat decent bulk. The best thing though is also, other than its disguise, is also a ghost type. So now we've now got our immunity to fighting. So before, in our first 2 picks, we have a fighting weakness. We now have a fighting immunity. Toxapex does resist the fighting, but Mimikyu now is immune to it. So we have that going for us. So now we're starting to cover each other's weaknesses. a lot better. You know, so we're yeah, I thought we've actually, between these four, I feel like we're covering each other's quite well, because like Toxapex will be weak to the electric types, but they're I've said electric. I mean, everything's weak to electric. I meant to say ground. Hydreigon is immune to ground. You know, we've got the fighting weakness, Mimikyu's immune, etc. You catch the drift. I thought it was awesome. Really good stats. Great on the move pool as well. It's got really cool moves. Actually, it gets access to Woodhammer and stuff. It's crazy. But it's yeah, it's got a really cool move pool, and I was really excited to grab Mimikyu. So that was round 4. Going in now to round 5, and we went bulky again. I thought we could do with at least one more good bit of bulk. Like, I think for a good team overall, you need a good like 2 or 3 decent bulky mons. One maybe on the physical, one maybe one on the special, maybe one in between. And I decided I think we needed one more. And there really wasn't a lot of options left in the sort of the mid tiers. But we went Gastrodon. Gastrodon is our pick. It does give us a second water type, which isn't really that ideal. I didn't really want another water type. But my focus was the ground type. That was what I wanted, and it was really either between Gastrodon or Hippowdon. And Hippowdon was like in the tier, I think 140. So it was a couple tiers above, and it was really expensive. And I knew if we went that route, it would really hinder us later in the draft. And I thought, actually, do you know what? Thinking about it, Gastrodon is actually could be good, because it gives us a water immunity as well with Storm Drain. And it's got really good bulk. Again, it can haze, recover spam, decent offensive move pool. You know, it gets access to toxic. So I thought overall it was a really good mon to kind of help cover those gaps. Obviously, we do get that grass weakness, that big ×4 grass weakness, but I have got grass resistances along the line. You know, Cobalin could probably quite easily sit in front of a grass type move. Hydreigon, depending on the move, but yeah, it could probably sit in front of one as well. So I thought, you know what, it's actually not too bad. And you will see also later in the draft that we actually even cover that weakness as well. I just thought Gastrodon was actually a really good snag, and I also didn't want an opportunity for someone else to snag it, because I know Gastrodon's a pain to prepare for. So I wanted it for selfish reasons alone. But yo, Gastrodon's it. I'm excited. Now, this next pick, oh my days. This next pick, guys, this was the sniper. This was the snipest move. Like, we've had there were a couple of snipes along the way, but this one was the big one. We had our eyes on Jolteon. Jolteon was what I wanted, and it actually ended up going literally the first pick of this new round. I think I can't remember who it was. I think it was Frosted. I think Frosted had like the back-to-back wheel pick as number 60. They picked Vaporeon and Jolteon. I really wanted that Jolteon, but we didn't snag it, and instead we went Bolton. Now, I'm not now seeing where we are with the rest of the team. I'm actually quite happy with Bolton. At the time, I was really salty. Like, I thought Jolteon was so good. It was a perfect speed stat. It's got like base 130 speed. It's crazy. Really good special attack. Obviously, defensively, it's not doing anything, as is Bolton. But I just really wanted Jolteon. It gives us an electric immunity, which I thought would be huge for Toxapex. And I just thought it was such a good mon. I didn't want to pass it up. And unfortunately, it did go. It went. And out of all the electric types were left, it was either Bolton or like Raichu's. And that was really about it. There wasn't a lot happening for electric. So we went with Bolton. And do you know what? Now seeing it, having it, like, done some matches and had some fun with it, it's actually incredibly good. I actually am really enjoying using Bolton. It's a lot of fun. It gets a really cool move pool. It gets all the Fang like type moves, which is really awesome. Incredible speed stat, base 121. Decent on the attacks, at base 90, both attacks. Defensively, it's just not doing it. At base 60, it's just not doing it. But typically, you give this thing like a Life Orb, maybe a Choice Band, something like that, and it's just gonna wreck souls. It like Fire Fang and Thunder Fang. You wouldn't think it with these Fang moves because you don't typically tend to see them in competitive. But on Bolton, they are doing damage thanks to its strong durability. So, and competitive as well is really good. Gives that +1 on the +2 special attack. If my stats are low, it's like Intimidate, things like that. We can just get that plus on the competitive side. It's so good. Now that I've seen it in action, Bolton is so good. I'm so happy we've got Bolton. I love it. I'm absolutely loving this pup. I cannot wait to use it more in the rest of the season. I think Bolton is one to look out for as like a potential MVP. I do think so. So I'm excited for Bolton. Moving now on to round 7. Round 7, I wanted another ground immunity. We were starting to build a ground weakness with Boltons, with Toxapex, with Cobalion. We had a ground weakness quite heavily, and I really wanted another ground immunity. So we went with Braviary. Braviary was there. We had our eyes on it. Pretty much as soon as we picked Boltons, we were like, yo, we want a ground immunity. We want Braviary. And then we literally managed to go, the draft managed to go all the way back up and come back down to us. And Braviary was still there, and it was amazing. So we snagged it. Speed is nothing crazy, base to 80, decent. But the best thing is its HP at 100 and its attack at 123. Fantastic attack stat. Sheer force with Defiant ability as well. Absolute crazy. Really good, strong, really strong Pokemon. Great move pool. Gets U-turn, Defog. It's got Tailwind. So much is going on for it that we can use and just utilize. And I'm actually loving it. I love the idea of Braviary. As I say, it gives me another ground immunity that we just sort of, I think we just needed just to kind of help us out. So we didn't have to rely on Hydreigon, because that's one of the biggest things. You don't have to rely on a single Pokemon as your sort of dedicated sort of immunity or go switch in Mon for certain moves. You don't really want to have to rely on it. And ground is a very heavy offensive move with earthquakes, and so I really needed another ground immunity just to give my opponent something else, an extra Mon to think about, you know? So yeah, I thought Braviary was so good. It's got a fantastic shiny as well. Just appreciate how beautiful this shiny is. And I'm really excited to use Braviary. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm pumped. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, I can't wait for Braviary. Now, moving on. Round 8 is here. And again, we wanted to get some speed. I wanted some special attack. Really good special offense. We had some really good physical pressure. I wanted some more special pressure. And we grabbed Espeon. Espeon in the tier 80. Our third pick actually in tier 80 in a row. And again, I was surprised it was there. Like, again, it was another one we had our eyes on pretty much as soon as we picked Braviary. We kind of had our eyes on Espeon for pretty much the rest of the rounds as it worked its way back up. And there were a lot of picks that I thought it was gonna go sooner, but no, it was still there. And what do you know? We snagged it. Magic Bounce is pretty much the only ability you're gonna run with it, other than Synchronize. But it's really cool. It's got really good moves, really good on the special attack stat and the special defense. Obviously, you can usually run like Carmine. I think it's like the Carmine Baton Pass. It's got like Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, Trick as well. Utilized. The only thing I think this thing lacks is it didn't get Mystical Fire in Gen 8, along with pretty much most of the other Fairy and most Psychic types. It all grabbed sort of Mystical Fire. Fortunately, Espeon missed that out. And I feel like that would have actually really helped it. I think Mystical Fire would have actually been sort of one of the best things it could have got, but can't get everything. So, but no, I thought Espeon was actually a great snag, and I was really pleased actually we were able to pick it up. I've never used Espeon before competitively. As I say, along with pretty much the entire team, I've never used it really competitively. So this entire draft is going to be a learning experience, and I'm really excited. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. So yeah, I'm excited for this. It's going to be good fun. Expect good things. Moving in now to round 9. This was one of my favorite picks we done. And we really weren't like too sure how I wanted to handle this. It was either like, I was also looking at grabbing potentially like Chandelure as a sort of a backup for like a pressure. But there really wasn't a lot. Like one of the other ones we also had Rise on was Amoonguss. Amoonguss was there. I think actually Amoonguss ended up going undrafted, which is quite surprising. But Amoonguss was another one we really had our eyes on. So I can maybe get a second regenerator. But we ended up going with Serena. And you know what? Now I'm actually really glad we did. Serena's got a fantastic base attack stat at 120. Decent amount of speed, 72, it's nothing crazy. But it's got really good defenses, base 98, and it's got a really cool move pool. It gets so many cool moves. It gets high jump kick, knock off, U-turn. It's got rapid spin as well, which is awesome. Thanks to rapid spin's buff as well in this generation. It gets a +1 speed, and it has an attack boost as well. So before it was based, I think it was base 20 if I'm not mistaken. Now it's base 50. And you get a +1 attack stat, +1 speed boost, sorry. So it's Rapid Spin got a huge buff, and now it's actually a really decent move to use, which I think is awesome. So this could actually really help us in the matches to come. I think it's going to be amazing. Yeah, I'm really excited for Serena. I think it's actually going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, thanks to its Queenie Majesty ability, we are immune to priority moves, so we haven't got to worry about like Shadow Sneaks and Sucker Punch, Cell Rock, things like that. We haven't got to worry about any of that. We are immune thanks to Queenie Majesty. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Sliding on over to round 10, we grabbed Turtonator. This was one, again, I had my eyes on pretty much since we picked Serena. But these last three picks, actually, I actually knew, as soon as we picked Serena, I knew what I wanted my last two to be. It was just a case of them being there. Personally, it was still there when it came back to us, so I was like, yup, mine. So we snagged it, beautiful. Base 135 on the defense stat, 85 on the special, nothing crazy there. Special attack is 91. Its speed isn't anything, like, it's not exactly designed for, you know, outspeeding and things doing big things. It's just there to take a hit and then smack a Draco or smack an overheat like that in return. It's just there to take a hit and then smack one back. Like, that's what Turtonator is there for. And I thought we needed one more bulky mon, just something else to, again, just another bulky mon for my opponent to maybe think about. We had some decent on the sort of mixed special, and I just think one good physical bulky mon was really good. Plus, it gets to be a fire type, which we didn't have before. And it gives me a second dragon type. And again, like I said earlier, dragon is quite a good move because it does resist a lot of moves, resist a lot of types, and you know, it can do a lot. It can do a lot of pressure. So I thought Dragonfire was such a cool duo, and I thought, why not? You know, Turtonator is cool. Again, never used it before. Gets really cool move pool. Gets rapid spin as well. We get Will-O-Wisp, Toxic. You know, as I say, you got Draco and Overheat. It does get obviously like Explosion if we want to sort of be a bit funky one week. Who knows? You know, we've got a lot of options. We've got Iron Heads. A lot of cool moves that we can utilize. Whether it's on the special or physical side. So we've got quite a lot of cool moves. And I'm excited to use Turtonator, as I say, because it just gives my opponent something else to think about. And it gives me a fire type, which we didn't have before, which I was really pleased with actually. So this gives me a fourth potential spinner as a removal, which is really important on the team. The more you have, the better it is. So yeah. Now then, coming in to the last pick. This was a big one. This was important that we grabbed this, and it was really the only thing left that was on the field that left available that I was interested in, and that's a Alolan Dugtrio. I was really keen actually on grabbing this. Like, I wanted to grab regular Dugtrio initially, much earlier on in the draft, but we ended up making like I think pretty much it was around the time I wanted to grab Gastrodon. I wanted to grab Alolan Dugtrio, but we ended up taking just literally a flip. We just went in a completely different direction. So we went with, in a way, the next best version of Dugtrio, and we went with the Alolan Dugtrio. I mean, despite its crazy looks, it's not got the best ability. It doesn't get access to Arena Trap, which is really, I think, what this thing needed. Instead, we got like the Sandforce, Sandveil, and Tangling Hair. Fortunately, our team doesn't really utilize Sand too much, but it's not the end of the world because the main goal for Dugtrio was, again, it's an extra ground type, heal type, which is really cool, but it's the speed. It's the speed that I wanted. Base 110 speed, 100 attack, and it gets really cool move for the Earthquakes, it gets Iron Head, Sucker Punches, but it also can do things like, it can get Toxic as well, which we can use, but it also gets, as I say, it gets Stealth Rocks, which is really good. So you can use like Dugtrio as like a lead. You know, you could get that turn 1 Stealth Rocks and then just like Sucker Punch or something and then just sack it off, you know, and then that way you've got rocks on the field. Things like that, especially if your opponent doesn't bring hazard removal. You know, it's a really cool set to try and just like guarantee rocks up early game, and that way you don't have to really worry about, you know, potentially missing out on anything. So I thought, as I say, Dugtrio was, for what was left on the last pick, there really wasn't a lot going for us. Like, a lot of people were starting to grab like random stuff like Kangaskhan, and I think Trapinch ended up getting drafted. Like, there were so many just random odd bonds that were left, and I was just like, out of everything, Dugtrio is there, I want it. And that is our draft for this season of the UBL. I'm really excited for this season. I'm really excited for this team. As I say, this is featuring some brand new mons that we've never used before, and I'm really excited to see what, you know, kind of stands out and who we actually really utilize over the coming weeks, and really what, like, just really how they all kind of blend, and just really how I perform, because I'm really curious. As I say, this team is just, this team is so new to me, and it's so crazy. Who knows what's down. But that is the draft breakdown, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. Do hit that like button, subscribe, and be sure to check out the link in the description. Check out the merch store. As I say, you can save 10% off your orders using code UBL5. That is available for a limited time only. So be sure to check it out. As I say, do have a quick little look there. You know, you grab yourself a sticker, maybe. You know, save yourself a little bit of discount. You know, never know. It's worth looking into. But that is available right now, and we're gonna get ready for our first week. Week 1 match goes up on the coming Sunday, on the 27th of September, and we are up against Versus, I believe, and the God of War Guardians. They got a very scary team actually. I think they've got things like Rude and Alotic and I think Fable as well, and all kinds of scary stuff. So definitely be sure to check out the other coaches. They'll also be in the description. Be sure to check everyone out and show your love and support and spread the joy around. But that's it from me, guys. I've been your coach of the Crystal Palossands, SilverBeanie, and we will catch all you beautiful people next time.